welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then a very big hello. My name is Louise. It's been a hot minute that I have sat down and done a talk video like this. I'm normally doing my day off vlogs or my travel vlogs, but if you do not know, then me and my boyfriend Jake moved from UK to Canada 3 years ago, and I used to document it all over my channel, and it's kind of changed throughout the years, obviously because I've been doing more travel content and yeah, just stepping away from the information videos. But recently my brother and his fiance moved over to Canada, and it's just made me reflect on so much that has like changed since I moved from the UK. And also I just want to make some videos of things that they're surprised at, which I'm now used to, and I just feel like doing a sit down chatty video again. I know so many people are doing the move now, as well as when I was first doing the move back in 2019, like no one was doing it. So like there's so many new people out there that are trying to look for information, and I thought, do you know what, it's about time I sit down and do a few more chatty videos about moving to Canada. Now this one's like super fun today. My boyfriend Jake moved here like 3 years ago now, so some things I've actually forgotten, and it's not until my brother's like, oh my god, this is so cool, and I'm like, do they not do that in England? And he's like, no, and I'm like, okay, let me write this down. So this is just like a fun video of things I love about Canada since I've been here, and things that don't happen in the UK and only happen here. And yeah, it's really light-hearted, so nobody get offended. This is just all my own personal opinions and thoughts. And remember, I moved to Ontario, Niagara Falls, so other provinces might be slightly different. So yeah, let's get started. I have a few things that I want to catch up with you guys. So the first thing that I love about Canada, and it's very wacky, it's very weird, but is drive-through ATMs. Like, it's so bizarre. It could be -10 outside, but you need to go get some money out, so you go through a drive-through ATM. If you follow me over on TikTok, you would have seen this TikTok at the side of me here, but basically it's a ATM where you draw your money out and you just drive through. It's that easy and it's that simple. But saying that, it is really hard to find an ATM here. In England, you would go to the corner of a bank or somewhere like that, and there's ATMs everywhere. Like on a night out, there's loads of places to draw cash, and I don't think there's that many here in Canada. But just one of the things that they get right is a drive-through ATM. It could be snowing outside, raining outside, and I don't have to get out my car to draw out money. It is brilliant. So that is number one. Number two is driving. Another car related thing, when you're driving and there's a red light in front of you, you're allowed to turn right. Yes, obviously you drive on the right hand side of the road, that's why you can turn right, but if you're sat at a red light and you're turning right and there's no traffic coming, you're allowed to turn right on a red light. And it is so good and so convenient, obviously, because you don't want to be sat at a red light when there's no traffic coming. It just makes more sense and saves traffic by you turning right. Now I just will say a tip though, since I've lived here and started to turn right, is that just be careful that there's no people crossing the sidewalk or crossing the road when you are turning right, because obviously pedestrians have right of way, and it might be that they can cross the road and you're about to turn right. I've done it so many times that I really shouldn't be announcing this, but I've like looked at upcoming cars and there's no one, so I start turning and then realize there's a person crossing the road. So number three is how cheap coffee is. I actually forgot how expensive coffee was because I was so used to it in England, going to Costa and going to Starbucks and things like that. Obviously Starbucks over here is the pricier coffee range, so obviously it's going to be more expensive. But if you go to your Tim Hortons and your McDonald's, you can get coffee for $1. $1, which is what, like 80p these days? I don't know. But like, in the summer, they have an event that goes on, dollar coffees, dollar drinks, but also if it's not got the event of the dollar coffees, it's normally only like $1.80 or something really cheap like that. I remember when I flew home in last February and I went and ordered a coffee just to sit down and in a Premier Inn, and I looked at my Canadian bank account, it was like $6 for a coffee. I literally couldn't believe it. I don't know if it's because in Canada, people love coffee. Like, do you know the hot jug coffee? Like at home you wouldn't just have that coffee jug. I don't know what it's called. Is it like instant coffee? I don't know. I can't remember what you guys call it over here, but like at home you use a machine, you have a cappuccino, you have a latte, you have an espresso, which is slightly more expensive coffee, as over here it's all prepared in the jug and they just pour it, and it's super cheap, super convenient and super quick. And yeah, like here you don't feel bad to go out for a coffee. Like on the way to work you would grab your coffee because it's $1 coffee, so it's literally nothing. As at home it's a treat to go get a Costa because it is so expensive. And in the summer they have these things called an ice cap. Oh my god. If you come to Canada, you need to try an ice cap. I don't know if they have it in the Tim Hortons in England, let me know. And anyway, an ice cap is like a slush puppy but made with coffee. And they're so cheap. And yeah, I just can't believe how cheap coffee is. It's not a treat over here. It's just something you go to your Tim's and you get a coffee because it's cheap. Number 4 is your benefits at work. Now, obviously I can't talk for all employment places. I can just talk about places that I have worked, but most places they offer you benefits at work if you work full-time. Full-time over here is normally between 32 and 40 hours a week, and now most businesses do offer a benefit program. My current employer offers it and my previous one as well offered it, and basically once you've been in the company for 3 months you can start paying a small portion of your wage and then you will get covered with benefits. Now when I say small portion, it is tiny, so it's like $2 for one thing and $6 for another, like $10 in total basically goes out of your wage for benefits. And I highly recommend it. If you're new to Canada and they offer you benefits, 1,000,000% do it. So basically there's 2 major benefit places here in Ontario that I know of, and it's Manulife and Canada Life, and they're like the 2 benefit companies. I myself is with Manulife and Jake's workplace is with Canada Life, and basically you have a benefit plan. Every plan is so different, but for example, if I need to go to the dentist, then my benefits cover me up to 2,500 Canadian dollars a year to pay for anything that needs to be done, and they pay 90% and you have to pay the 10%. But if you and your partner have it, then I can carry that 10% over to his plan, so I actually pay 0. And it sounds so complicated, and if you guys want me to do a more in-depth video on benefits, then I 100% can, because I didn't know about it before I moved to Canada, and since I've been here it's honestly something that if I go and move jobs I need to make sure that they have a benefit plan, because I just couldn't do it otherwise. But most places do, and it's basically you could literally get so much done. So it covers you on dental, eye care, therapy, physiotherapy, like just so much. Like I have an app on my phone, and like for example you click on dental and it will say 2,500, and then if you've used it, it will say like 1,000 left or 500 left, so you can kind of watch how much you're spending. So for example, when I first went to the dentist, I needed some fill-ins as I had cavities, and they said it was like $100 a fill-in, so I knew I could afford it because I have 2,500 for the year. And then at the end of the year, if you have like loads of money left over, you can pay for a whitening or you can pay for braces, or I got a retainer for in the evenings, and that cost me like $500 because in my first year I had so much money left over, so I thought I would put it towards that. Also, I hurt my shoulder reaching for something at work, and that's on my benefit plan. I went to someone, and I had like a 6-week treatment, so once a week I went for 6 weeks to get it massaged, and that was all paid for. And yeah, it just benefits is just so good. Obviously the healthcare here is the same as the UK, where you get your doctors for free and things like that. It's called OHIP here in Ontario, but the benefits is just like an extra bit of support, and it's just so good. I absolutely love the benefit plan, and I highly recommend it to anybody that moves to Canada to make sure you pay into it. It's so good, and I don't know if it's something they offer in England. If it is, it's very small. Not a lot of business offers it because I've never heard of it. As over here, I've had 3 jobs since I've worked here, and all 3 have offered it to me. So it's obviously like a huge thing. And yeah, I love it. It's a great thing. You don't have to worry about anything. Like I needed my wisdom teeth out, and obviously I had to pay up front for it, but I got it all back eventually. But I got it all back. So it's great. And yeah, like I said, I can do a more in-depth video because there's so much that go into benefits, but it's something that kind of just does right, and it's so good. And it just makes you feel like you're looked after, basically. Number 5 is fuel prices. Now, I know there's a huge uproar at the minute in Canada and also England about how prices are raising for all bills, including fuel prices. But obviously, we don't pay as much as the UK. And I think people in Canada are upset because it has gone up, but it's gotten up nowhere near as much as it has at home. And I just feel super lucky that our like cost of living hasn't rise as much as it has there. Now obviously for Canadians, they felt a big hit because it's always been so cheap, and it's gone up slightly. So but yeah, at home, we wouldn't be able to afford the cars that we have here. So Jake has a big Ram truck, and at home, he said he just wouldn't be able to afford it. One, for like the insurance purposes, but secondly, is because of the fuel. It's got such a big engine, and fuel at home is so expensive. So here at the minute, we just drove past somewhere and it was like 1.3 at $1.30 a litre. I'm not really into my cars and things like that. I just know that that's super cheap because I think at home it's like £1.90 or something stupid like that. But yeah, to fill our whole truck, it normally costs around $100 to $110 in Costco. I actually don't know what let me see what the conversion of that is. On like bad days when the fuel has raised, it can be around $130. But honestly, that's not bad at all. So yeah, $110 is £65 at the minute. So to fill our whole Jeep, which is a huge engine, is £65, which is just absolutely crazy. Okay, so the next thing is in the winter, you can literally go ice skating for free if you own your own ice skate boots, which you can get from any thrift stores, or they're brand new for like $60 in some sports shops. And you can turn up to any ice rink, well, majority of ice rinks where I live, and use it for free. I live near Niagara-on-the-Lakes. There's loads of wineries and there's loads of ice rinks, and if you've got your own skates, you just turn up and jump on the ice. Also in front of the Toronto sign, that's a free ice rink. There's a basketball court that turns into an ice rink in the winter, which is so good. I know at home you have to pay to go into like an ice rink, and there's not many in the area, but it's just so cool that it's just such a Canadian thing to do. And number 7 is one thing I love about Canada. Is a lot of employers will ask how much do you think you should be paid in an interview, which is so bizarre. I don't think it's ever happened to me in England. You could be in a job interview for something and they will ask you all the normal questions, and then at the end they will say, so how much would you want to be paid? And you kind of like take a step back for a second. Like normally in England it's like a set wage and there's like no negotiating, but here in Canada you can negotiate your wage, and if you work hard you get pay rises, and it's just so good. Like if you think you deserve between $20 and $25, you can literally say, I want to be paid like between $21 and $22 an hour, and they can either say, yeah, I'll match that, or unfortunately this job's not for you as we can't pay that. And they're very honest with pay. It's nothing that's embarrassing. Like I was talking to my family about it, and like at home it's embarrassing to ask what your wage is or if you can negotiate it, but here it's just normal to negotiate your wage, which is so weird, but I think that's so good. You can kind of say how much you think you're worth to that company, and if they don't want to pay it, then they will tell you there and then, instead of hiring you, then you find out the wage and not liking it. So yeah, and every year you have like an evaluation and you negotiate your wage there too. If you think that you've done a good year, you can kind of say, I've had a good year, I want a pay rise, and it's not embarrassing. Everyone does it, and that's one thing I love about Canada as well, because yeah, you just know your worth and they're happy to pay if you're a good worker. So there we have it. There is 7 things that I love about Canada. Obviously they're little short and sweet ones. I can think of so many. So let me know if you want a part 2 to this video. When I first moved to Canada, I created lots of videos like this, so I will leave them a link down below. I did things I wish I learned before I moved to Canada, cost of living videos, so make sure you go check them out. And I am going to do an up-to-date cost of living video, which is going to be out in the next few weeks, because obviously it's a new year, prices have risen, guys, and I'd love to tell you guys how much we pay for electric and gas and things like that if you're making the move now, because some of my old videos are a bit of out of date. But I hope you enjoyed this chatty video. I'm back and I'm here to help you guys. Let me know if there's any videos that you would like down in the comments, and I will get around to filming those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!